Hey guys, welcome to the shop. Today we're going to be playing with the new 3D printer. I've always wanted one of these bad boys. You know, sometimes there's something that you want and you can't really get it right now. Say it's like a Saturday and you need it for Sunday and you can't just run out and buy it. That's where something like this comes in handy. I've always wanted one of these and now the price point has come down so far where I couldn't say no. This is a really cool machine. I did a lot of research on which one that I wanted and I settled on this one. And the first project that I'm gonna do is make hand sanding sticks for doing my hand sanding on knives. So let's unbox this, open it up, see how easy it is to put together, how easy it is to level the bed and get it set up and get printing. So what we have in the box is the longer Lk5 PRO. And this is the newer model that just came out. And it's supposed to be faster operating with a larger bed and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and open the box and see what we got in here. Nice packaging. Ooh, look at that. Really nice packaging. Everything's got a nice place in there. All right, so the very first thing right out of the box, it says, before you do anything else, to peel this sticker off, which is a very annoying sticker, I might add. Well, that was a whole lot of complaining about nothing. A little bit of Goo Gone, took like 2 seconds. Flip that over to 115 volt, we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so I can't legitimately say that this is an easy to put together unit, but there is about 10 steps and it doesn't look very difficult. The base is pretty much put together. Then you get this system here, which is the upright, and you need to install the printer arm that's going to move up and down and the different things that help it to do the moving up and down. Aha! So the wheels slide right into this base here. Ah, the track, perfect. So that just moves right on there, and that allows it to move up and down. This guy right here, this motor, activates the all-thread arm that moves this up and down. So this mounts down here. May benefit from reading the instructions. Oh, wow, those are really good instructions, actually, and I'm not being facetious. These instructions are very detailed. It shows what types of screws go where. And that's pretty nice. I like that. I'm not going to tighten this down because I'm going to align the rod first and make sure that everything's in alignment. So you'll see, I'm going to flip this up, that what we have here is the drive. This is the motor that drives the all thread. And then this right here receives the all thread. So what you could do is just spin it through, thread it down into the drive motor. There we go. And then you're going to want to lock down that drive with the appropriate Allen wrench so it grabs that. There we go. I don't know exactly how tight you need it, but we're going to go fairly tight. We could take this unit here and mount it to our bed, just like that. Some screws that were supplied. All right, so the next thing that we're going to put on are these supports right here. And the supports go, these support arms go from here to here, and they have turnbuckles on the top and bottom that allow you to adjust these. One thing that I am going to do that I didn't see in the instructions, but me being a machinist of trade, I am going to, before I tighten these down, I think it's pretty pertinent that this boom be exactly 90 degrees. And that's probably why they give you the ability to have the turnbuckle. So I'm going to use my machinist square. And I'm going to put it right here, make sure that we're at 90 degrees. And we are perfect. I like it. I like it when things go smoothly. All right, so we're gonna lock that down. Okay, now let me turn this around. And we'll put the little top feed bracket. This guy right here is the lead screw support. We're gonna get it installed. So this supports the lead screw right here. That just keeps that lead screw from wandering around. Keeps it right where you need it. On this bad boy, they give you, on this control panel, they give you a sticker that's reminding you to change the voltage on the machine so that you don't accidentally plug it in and blow it up right off the bat. Kind of a safety precaution there. So we could pull this guy off. Let's see, where do you think that ought to go? How about, yeah, I think it ought to go right there. Ta-da! Okay, so what do we have left here? We've only got just two things left. We've got the this guy right here, which holds the spools. I believe that goes right there. So I do believe that this pretty much concludes the installation of all the parts. Now all we're going to have to do is follow the instructions to get all these plugs plugged in. Okay, so the first thing you'll notice, there's no 3D printer. And there's a wardrobe change. So let me explain. I had the 3D printer set up out here, and I went through a lot of different motions to do printing, and I just couldn't get it to work. It was peeling off the bed, it was warping the material. I tried hundreds of different experiments, and nothing worked. And it really boiled down to the different parameters that make a 3D printer work. And so I had to think through the problem. You have the heat of the nozzle that melts your material that's coming into the printer, and you have the heat of the bed. The heat of the bed helps your product stick to the bed. So I started experimenting with putting tape on the bed to get it to stick, and that really didn't help much. Or the glue stick method or the hairspray method, and those didn't really help much. You know, I could get 2, 3, 4 layers built up and then it'd pop off the bed. So I tried different ranges of nozzle temperatures, and I really systematically started writing down each experiment to see what would work and what wouldn't. And you know, I changed flow rates and feed rates and all these different things and never got the thing to print out here. And then it occurred to me there was a third variable other than the heat of the nozzle and the heat of the bed, and that was the ambient temperature of my garage. Now, I'm in Kansas City and it's in February, and the ambient temperature in my garage is about 30 to 40 degrees. Ultimately, that proved to be too cold for the printer to work properly. I moved it inside, boom! Immediately I got a good print. And then I've been able to print a whole bunch of other objects. I even went and I got different types of filament. I got the PLA and the PTEG filament types and got those to work, running different experiments and playing with the different shapes that it can print. It's really cool. So let me take you inside and show you what I'm doing. So the first thing I want to bring attention to is this really nice large screen display here. It's got all your functions right here that are touch. You have your homing button right here so you can move it to home. Your tune button. The tune button right here brings up a screen that allows you to adjust your nozzle temperature, the heat bed, the fan speed, the feed rate, and the nozzle flow rate. Those are all things that I've been becoming intimately familiar with to get this to run properly. We have the filament, which is the type of filament, and you can also cool your bed and stuff, but you can change your filament. You can load and unload the filament right here on this page. You have your leveling, which is really nice. It's got a 5-point leveling. You definitely need to level the bed before you can get a good print out of it, and I'll show you how to level it real quick here. And then the about just tells you about the machine, so that's a nothing deal. Now when you go to do this, you insert an SD card or plug in your computer. The SD card comes with some preloaded things on it. We've got the whistle, a vase, a cube, and a boat. I've done all of these, and these are cool little projects. My kids absolutely fell in love with this machine, playing with this thing. And I'm going to show you one. You know what? We're going to print the cube today. So basically we hit cube, we hit open, start printing, yes. Now, here's the kicker. It thinks it knows what it wants, but it doesn't. You need to hit tune. Now, I'm using a PTEG filament, and it likes to run the nozzle temperature at 240 degrees. And this is by my experimentation. I found out works the best. So we're going to go to 240, tune. Then we're going to take the bed to 60. We're going to take the feed rate down to 90 and the flow rate up to 110. And this is just playing around. I found out that this is what works. Now I'm going to move the camera over so you can watch it. You'll notice that I have some tape on the bed. This surface worked really good when I was running the straight PLA filament material, but when I switched to the PTEG material, it wouldn't stick to the bed. So I put the tape down and that helped with adhesion. Alright, so once the bed comes up to heat, it'll go about doing its business. It's going to run a prime. It's going to run a prime over here where it's priming the nozzle. And then it runs a skirt around your object to squeeze out any extra filament or anything like that. Once it's done with the skirt, it moves to the center where it actually starts to print the object in the file. And we're going to print the XYZ axis cube. This is a calibration cube that you print so that you could take a mic and see how accurate your printer is set up and printing. You know, it doesn't make that much of a difference on small objects, but when you expand into a much larger object, you'll see a huge difference if your machine is calibrated properly. See, I've got a piece of filament that's dragging on the nozzle. That kind of just drives me nuts seeing that there, but I don't think it'll affect the print. So it's laying down the first layer right now. Sorry about the light changing. This is real light coming in from the window here. It's kind of an overcast day today. Well, so far, we've printed off some pretty cool stuff. Here's the classic benchy that pretty much everybody prints on their 3D printer. You know, this comes on the file, ready to go. Whoops. The benchy boat. Overall, pretty good. No stringing. Everything looks nice. The layers look nice. Good deal. Got the XYZ block, the calibration block. Pretty neat little thing. And I did a couple whistles. Here's the ball on the inside. It actually prints the ball, and then you just break the ball free, and you have a whistle. It blows really loud too. My son has already claimed this one. I'd show you the other one, but my daughter already painted it pink. And it's somewhere around the house. I don't know where it's at. But these were fun little first projects. I have to learn the software. In order to use this to do the things that I wanted to do, you have to upload a 3D image into a program that slices it. And then what the slicer does is it takes your 3D image and it slices it into all of the different layers so that it can be uploaded to the printer, and then the printer will know, you know, the size of each layer to lay down one at a time. So that's for another video that I'm going to have to learn. This machine can do a lot of really neat things, and this is just to show you, you know, right out of the box. I'm not experienced. I've never even touched or seen a 3D printer really. And here you go. I was able to produce these things on day 2.